Greetings and a warm welcome to all. It's a pleasure to have you join us here today. I'm Brooks Jarosz, president of the San Francisco, Northern California chapter of the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. It brings me great pride to announce that our education committee has selected 6 exceptional, outstanding students from our region. Each has received one of our college scholarships. These recipients are the embodiment of the next generation of media professionals, and we applaud their undergraduate and graduate work. I'd like to extend my appreciation to all the students who applied for these scholarships. It is competitive, and their unwavering commitment, hard work, and dedication toward their craft is truly remarkable. The selection process was very challenging for our education committee, and each student deserves recognition for their individual submission. And now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Carrie Barber, a member of the committee and the interim associate dean and associate professor of electronic media at University of Nevada's Reynolds School of Journalism in Reno. She will serve as our host for today's event. Thank you, Carrie, for your valuable contributions, and congratulations to a group of amazing students and future professionals.
Hello and welcome to Meet the Winners of the San Francisco, Northern California chapter of the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences 2023 Scholarship Competition. I'm Carrie Barber, a member of Nevada's Board of Governors. Each year, our chapter offers scholarships to deserving college students. This year, we awarded $20,000 in scholarships to 6 undergraduate and graduate students during the Gold and Silver Circle induction in San Francisco in November. In today's webcast, we're going to meet the 6 students. They represent the next generation of media professionals, and we are proud to see them get the recognition they deserve for their work. We also want to thank all of the students who applied for these scholarships. Each one submitted excellent work, and our judges did not have an easy time selecting the winners, as all of the stories were outstanding. Our first award is the $3,000 Nancy Best Memorial Graduate Production Scholarship. Nancy was one of the original Miss Nancys on Romper Room beginning in 1958. She was also a founding member of our chapter. The Miss Nancy Best Memorial Graduate Production Scholarship was awarded to Florence Middleton from University of California, Berkeley. Congratulations, Florence.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here and incredibly grateful for the award.
Thank you. It's such an honor to meet you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your career goals?
Absolutely. I am a visual journalist. I'm based in Oakland, California, and I'm currently at UC Berkeley's Graduate School of Journalism. I'm graduating this May, and so this opportunity is just an incredible privilege to have and to help launch my career. I am transitioning from a 10-year career as a project manager in international development, and I'm excited to kind of launch my career into visual journalism.
Great, very cool. So we're about to watch one of the videos that helped you win this award. Can you set it up a bit and let us know a bit about this video?
Absolutely. I mentioned I'm based in Oakland, California. I have family roots here. It was important for me to look at storytelling in my own community. This piece, Ricardo, looks at a day laborer and what it looks like to move from your home country to the Bay Area and Oakland specifically, everything he gave up and sacrificed to be here, and surprising ways that he finds community.
Thanks. So we're going to take a look at that video. Thanks.
Thanks.
Soy labor, o sea, hago pintura, jardinería, mudanzas, ese tipo de trabajo. Como dice, este país es bonito, pero tiene su precio. Fui a Estados Unidos en el 93 por primera vez, cuando la devaluación de los 3 ceros. Subió todo. Los niños mi hijo estaba en la secundaria, yo ocupaba la computadora. Y los gastos eran peores, ¿no? Pues ahí está la historia. Pues los que no se mataron se salieron. Que nunca pensé en el riesgo, ni en no conocer la gente, ni en no conocer el idioma, nunca. Si te vas a enfermar, por decir, ¿quién te paga la renta? Por si vamos a poner una cosa que me tuviera que enfermar un mes, ¿no? La ciudad de aquí me corre, pues no te cobra. Por un día que te atrás te cobra $50. Por un día. Estuve en el departamento de recursos financieros, en contabilidad. Muy buen trabajo, o sea, es del gobierno. Tienes oficina, tienes tu silla, tienes tu cheque. Este es de mi hijo. Hoy, pa, muchas veces pienso y medito en tus palabras y lecciones y las encuentro valientes y llenas de razón. Sé que siempre a mis hermanos y a mí nos has amado. Sé que los tiempos no siempre fueron los mejores, pero tampoco sé que siempre buscaste ser el mejor, pero también sé que siempre buscaste ser el mejor papá. Me duele porque ¿qué se logró? La economía. ¿Pero a cambio de qué? De la familia. Pierdes todo por la economía. Todo. Y todos los que venimos es la misma canción, ¿eh? La familia piensa que uno está bien por acá, como se habla. Estados Unidos, la potencia número 1. Las películas, una felicidad. Hay cosas que ellos no entienden. ¿Cómo es la vida aquí?
El vasito de leche.
Pues no se preocupe, mire, aquí se lo sirvo. Y todo lo demás.
Se identifica con eso.
Cuando vine de Guatemala, de donde yo soy, de mi pueblo, salimos, es verdad, es por violencia.
A los ciudadanos, que es parejo, aquí nada de que discriminan. Sí, así diferente es la entrada, pero ya llegada aquí, es la misma vida para todos.
¿Comió su pastel?
2 tamales y mi pastel.
Ok, qué bien.
Delicioso. Gracias, Holly. Beautiful. Bye, muchachos.
That was great. Thank you for sharing his story with us. Finally, can you tell us a little bit more about other projects that you might be working on?
Yeah, absolutely. I worked on a piece recently with Jean Zamora, who is actually another recipient here on the call, that was looking at sports, specifically at the roller skating community, and how a group of of folks who are skating now are kind of creating this new sport that is taking a world that was pretty male dominated, kind of the skating world, skateboarding and rollerblading, and making space for new people, for women and folks of all genders to have kind of a more inclusive space in that sports world. That was something that we completed recently that was a really amazing opportunity to tell these women's stories and these individual stories. I hoping to continue telling stories about women, the Asian community, and folks in the Bay Area. That's something that I'm really passionate about.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And congratulations on being the recipient of the $3,000 Nancy Best Memorial Graduate Production Scholarship. Thank you, Florence.
Thanks so much.
Our next award is the $3,000 Jerry Jensen Memorial Graduate Journalism Scholarship. Jerry was an anchor at KGO ABC 7 and received the governor's citation in 1968. This year, the scholarship was awarded to two students, Alisa Gorokhova and Jean Zamora, both from the University of California, Berkeley. We begin with Alisa. Hi, Alisa. How are you?
Hi, good morning. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's such an honor.
Thank you so much for being here. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you hope to end up?
Yeah, so I'm Canadian Ukrainian. I was born in Kharkiv in Ukraine, and now I'm here at Berkeley. I have a 10-year career as a communication specialist working in the tech industry, which is sort of the origin for this piece, which is very tech oriented. Where I hope to end up is sort of still not 100% clear. I'm graduating in May. I know I want to work in news. I know I want to make videos. I know I want to make films, but the specifics of that is, I'm leaving that open-ended right now.
That's great. So we're about to watch one of your video entries in just a moment, and they're fabulous. I am really curious about this entry we're going to watch. Can you tell us a little bit about your unique creative approach that you used on this?
Yeah, so the film is about, my co-producer Vern and I knew that we wanted to make a film about AI technology, and we very soon narrowed it down to deepfakes because there was just so little research done on the matter, so little news coverage, and yet it seemed like such a dangerous issue that people should be aware about. Very soon we narrowed it down to even further down to deepfake pornography, because that seemed like such a high stakes issue because it was affecting everybody, and significantly it was affecting women. It was affecting women that were vulnerable. It was affecting teenage girls, anyone that could be targeted and maliciously targeted by this. And it seemed like no one knew that this was happening. And we just wanted to raise awareness for that. And the most interesting thing, I think, stylistically for us is that we couldn't show what it looked like, for obvious reasons, we can't show what fake porn looks like. So we had to find creative ways around that to show just how convincing deepfakes can be without showing, the ugly aspects of it. And that's how I ended up deepfaking myself.
Yeah, a really creative approach, and you're going to share it with the audience now.
In 2017, a new user was taking Reddit, one of the world's most popular social media platforms, by storm. A user who called themselves Deepfakes was posting images that looked real but were digitally altered. 90,000 followers later, Deepfakes was banned from Reddit, but the name stuck.
Imagine waking up one morning, checking your phone, and seeing that your friends are talking about a viral video that they didn't know you were in. Now, imagine that you also didn't know that you were in this viral video. That's because you were never actually in it. Someone took your picture from the internet and created a deepfake based on that one photo. With the recent explosion of artificial intelligence technology, it has never been this easy to deepfake someone or to be deepfaked.
5 years ago, I would have said the threat for deepfakes, particularly around non-consensual sexual imagery, is to actors, actresses, politicians, people who have a big public profile, because you needed a lot of data of them. Now, people can clone your voice and clone your likeness if you have a relatively small footprint. You've got some TikTok videos online, you've done a YouTube video, your voice is in an interview for your newspaper and school, and suddenly your likeness is up for grabs.
A mom in Pennsylvania is accused this morning of using so-called deep fakes to anonymously harass members of her daughter's cheerleading team.
I think I was just so much in shock with everything going on. I couldn't really comprehend like what was going on.
It is thousands a month that you'd have to pay to have someone look through the internet endlessly and take down anything like this.
And the person that made that website, I'm going to fucking sue you. I promise you. With every part of my soul, I'm going to fucking sue you.
We've also seen them with female business owners. Women in child custody battles have had deepfakes of them pop up as well. We're concerned that they're going to start appearing among the high school set or the college set, really being used to target young women. The misuses of deepfake technology is probably only limited by the imagination at this point, and we really haven't scratched the surface of it.
The main problem with punishing those that create malicious deepfakes is identifying those individuals and tracking them down.
There is work at the federal level on passing more aggressive legislation to protect women. So there's some regulatory relief. The bad news is this does not seem to be a priority for law enforcement. The other bad news is if the people doing this are outside the US, there is very little, if any, recourse. And the really bad news is once something's on the internet, it doesn't matter.
It's very difficult because by and large it's anonymous by definition. They don't want to get caught, so it tends to be difficult, or they're offshore, in which case you can't do it. And you can't go after the platforms on which it's posted because of Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act.
Section 230 was written in the 90s, and it was designed as what's called the Good Samaritan Law that would allow companies to regulate content on their platforms without being held liable for censorship or for failing in their moderation. But that's not the internet we live in today. The internet we live in today is being algorithmically fueled to suck you in, to spend as much time on the platform as possible, to extract data from you and deliver ads to get you to buy shit that you don't need. And so the shield of 230 has prevented companies from being held liable even when they knew what they were doing.
But not everyone thinks reforming Section 230 is the answer. The Electronic Frontier Foundation champions free expression on the internet for all, above all else.
Even if regulators can think of something, we're ultimately going to be relying on those who implement this to implement them in a way that we think is socially responsible. So I don't think we're avoiding the social responsibility question, even if we allow for some degree of regulation. Was there some user who made a very malicious use of a tool that a company provided? It seems that just merely providing a tool for the public to use, that should not, as a general matter, create liability.
So I think if you are developing technology where there is a clear weaponization, you should be responsible for that. And there are things we can do. We can put digital watermarks into every single piece of synthetic content so that when it gets into the wild, we can track it. We can extract fingerprints from every single piece of digital content so that we can keep track of this content.
Having something at the bottom that says this is fake is not going to deter anybody from making it, and nor for the pervs that want to look at it from looking at it. And the harm is out there because somebody's, for example, their face, their image has been placed in a context which is false. So that's not going to do it. But preventing it altogether, I have no clue how you would do that. I don't think anybody does.
But if the threats posed by deepfakes are not preventable, what does the future hold for our society's increasing dependency on AI?
We've entered this world suddenly where images and videos are no longer a definitive recording of the events of the world. And what that means is that it's very easy to deny reality because it is possible to manipulate an image or a video.
Very real national security threat could impact the 2020 election.
Could become a real and present danger to our democracy.
What does this say about us, about our humanity? That we think this is okay to torture other human beings like this? I honestly don't know. And here's the thing is, I think we've always had this in us, but I think the social rules have sort of kept us together. You are rewarded on the internet for that behavior with likes and shares and retweets. And so it brings out the worst in us because of the anonymity and the safety of it, if you will, but also it's rewarding. You get rewarded for this because the other knuckleheads are telling you how great you are. This is not a world I want to live in. This is not, by the way, the internet I signed up for.
Produced and directed by Varun Srikanth and Alisa Gorokhova. Supervising producer Cassandra Herman. Technical supervisor Chris O'Day. Special thanks to Jean Zamora, Misha Schwartz, and Maria Zafar. Made at UC Berkeley Graduate School of Journalism, 2023.
Thank you again so much for sharing that really important story. I just had one more question I wanted to ask about that piece. What was the hardest part for you in doing that story, and what was the biggest challenge, I guess, you faced?
The hardest part, I think, was finding it was very hard to find people who would be able to talk from personal experience. We never actually did find someone, because once someone has been targeted online maliciously, they understandably erase most of their online presence. So it's very hard to find those kind of people. And we don't want to push that. We don't want to put anyone in an uncomfortable situation, which is why we decided to just find sort of the evidence that was online of people that had talked about it and present that and to the audience and say, okay, you guys decide, but this is what's happening online. If you just scratch the surface, you don't have to look very far. And from a videographer's perspective, B-roll was really difficult. There's not a lot of footage to shoot because it's all online, but I'm very proud of that film. It's one of the hardest I've done, but I think it's also one of the most important, given what's going on in the world. Even a couple of days ago, I think Taylor Swift is suing someone for deep faking her in a pornographic situation. So, it's ongoing.
Well, thank you for taking on this really challenging and important story. And congratulations for being one of the $3,000 Jerry Jensen Memorial Graduate Journalism Scholarship recipients.
Thank you so much.
Alisa. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now let's meet Jean Zamora from the University of California, Berkeley, also awarded the $3,000 Jerry Jensen Memorial Graduate Journalism Scholarship. Congratulations, Jean.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be here receiving this award and being able to talk about it.
Thank you so much. I really love this piece that you shared with us that we're going to watch in just a moment. It's really beautiful. But first, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I go to UC Berkeley. I'm a graduate student studying short form video filmmaking. And I would consider myself a multimedia journalist with an emphasis on filmmaking. And I really hope to continue to create films in the future.
Great. And can you kind of set up this story for people that we're about to watch?
Sure. So this is about some high school students in Durango, Colorado, who are organizing to be able to keep Narcan, which is a drug that reverses opioid overdoses, on themselves at school. Their school board wasn't allowing them to carry it, but after one of their peers tragically passed away from an overdose, they thought it was really important to be able to teach each other about Narcan and be able to have it on them at all times.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go ahead and roll this really powerful video.
I'd never experienced anything like it. It was like I was almost frozen in time because I didn't want to believe it.
It changed our mindset with regards to how serious it was and how serious it had become, even in this small community.
I saw really just the devastation that caused, and I never want that to happen again.
Durango's issues with drug use in the community has increased in a striking, rapid sense over probably the last 4 or 5 years. Not only in the amount of drug use, and particularly with opioids, but also with the severity.
I've got to finish up my speech to the board today, so. So yeah, just having someone man that petition in the Commons. I remember I was sitting in my living room, I was checking my Snapchat, and one of my friends posted a Snapchat story and it said, y'all don't fuck with pills, something's not right. And then someone else posted a story that said, praying for all those involved, you're all loved.
I get a call about like 10 minutes after I wake up, and they said, "Hey Nico, like we're gonna come pick you up, something happened." And I didn't get any more information, so my heart was racing. I felt like something bad had happened. They each took one pill, and they both overdosed within 10 minutes. And then my friend's mom and my friend's little brother found them, and by that point, it was kind of too late.
Learning about this overdose spurred me to action, where I said, there's got to be something. I remember reading about Narcan, and it seemed like it was a lifesaver. As it became more publicly available, I started to ask, well, why can't we give it to kids? Why can't we give it to high schoolers?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation.
My name is Elias Stridicus. I'm here tonight in favor of amending Board Policy JICH. This would allow students to carry Narcan on their persons in campus, and also allow for students to organize a Narcan training where we would teach each other how to use Narcan and give ourselves the resources we need to help fight the opiate epidemic. I think it's important, this is a big ask, we acknowledge that. We'd be the first district in the state to do that. Why not here?
We have an operational expectation that really looks at, did I as a superintendent prevent risk and liability for the district? And I have to be able to demonstrate that I did not do anything to put the district at risk. And this is an issue that there are risks, and we will talk about what those are.
I figured it would be a quick change, and went to the superintendent, went to the school board, and only then did I really realize how much opposition there is to making Narcan readily available to students.
And it's not just about carrying it, it's really ultimately about if they have to use it, right? Instead of a trained adult.
Stigma plays a big role in the hesitation to make decisions around this issue. There's also this fear that by providing youth specifically with Narcan, it's almost like giving them permission or encouraging them to utilize substances.
So we have Willow, Ellie, you, and anyone else new who signed up? Charlie may have, and Riley's also maybe. Ready to learn how to use Narcan?
Yes.
The two main thing, number one thing, no matter what, you're calling 911. And then you're going to put them, if you can, we advise that you do recovery breaths on the person if they're not breathing.
I've given Narcan many times, and I know how easy it is to use. To me, it's reasonable for the general public to be able to use. And if you've got young adults who are initiating a program to be able to use that, I support that.
So if you just to train people, so basically just put it in their nose and then press the button, and it kind of makes a loud clicking noise. It's a little bit scary, but then you just twist it back to.
The real ones aren't that loud.
No, they're not that loud. So I don't know. It's pretty simple. Because I'm on deathbed in the back.
We shouldn't have to be the adults in the room. We are high schoolers or students, but if they're unwilling to be, we will be.
Something like this with the little.
Yeah, I was just thinking, okay, what if the sticker is the whole thing?
We are fortunate there's not been an overdose on school campuses, but just because one hasn't happened doesn't mean it won't. We have the ability, we have the resources and tools to save lives. It's just, are we going to use them?
Rules have got to go. Hey, hey! Ho, ho! backwards rules have got to go. Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These backwards rules have got to go. Save lives!
I want to educate people on the reality of overdose and how it can happen to anyone. My best friend didn't die in vain, and I'm gonna make sure of that.
Saves lives!
Because this is not just a fight for our rights. This is a fight for our lives. This is a fight that the student body is fully committed to. We will not go away, and we will keep persisting until we win. Every day that we go without introducing an opiate antagonist policy is another day that our students are left unprotected from the risk of overdose. Another day where we could receive that text saying that one of our friends has died.
We have created an initiative in the form of a petition. We have garnered support from over 550 students.
We can be the first in Colorado. Why not us?
Thank you all for being here today. Thank you to those of you who spoke and those that supported those who spoke. We are listening to you, even if our time may seem very slow to you.
I think we need to have a massive student turnout at the forum, and I think what we need to do is we just need to ask them point blank the difficult questions we've been asking during our speeches that they've danced in the meetings. And we need to
It's incredible to know that even if people might not be listening to you, you can impact one person. One more person is carrying Narcan, and that's a win.
After someone passes away, you're supposed to give back to their community and give their things away as a symbol of release. And at his funeral, I thought that I should get his shoes because me and him bonded over shoes sometimes, and that was a shared interest that we always talked about, and felt like a nice way to remember him and keep a little piece of him with me. I think he's in the sunset. That's why I like them so much. But it's also just another way to feel like he's still around. I still believe that he's seeing me do this and that I'm making him proud. It definitely makes the pain easier, knowing that I am positively impacting this issue.
Such a beautiful, powerful, and important piece. Thank you for sharing it. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got into this story and why you wanted to do it?
Yeah. So I was actually, I live in Oakland, and I was actually at a bar in Oakland when I realized they were handing out Narcan for free. And this kind of piqued my interest into like how younger people, it seemed to me, were fighting the opioid epidemic with more harm reduction techniques. And so from there, I was really interested in this concept, and I was kind of doing a deep dive on the internet, trying to see like if there are any more like stories about this that were unfolding across America, because I knew at the local high school level they were just allowed to carry Narcan, and at our at UC Berkeley they just started an overdose chapter, and we're trying to get Narcan in all the sororities and fraternities. And so I really wanted to find something that was emblematic of this phenomenon across the country. And I was working with a co-producer named Misha Schwartz, and we were able to find an article about this in the Durango Herald, and from there we connected with the people who were kind of spearheading this movement there, and were able to really go there and embed ourselves in the story for about a week and create this piece.
Thank you. It's so many lives, this issue. So thank you for being part of this solution. And congratulations for being one of the $3,000 Jerry Jensen Memorial Graduate Journalism Scholarship recipients. Thank you again, Jean.
Thank you so much.
Our next award is the $3,000 Peter J. Moreno Jr. Memorial Undergraduate Production Scholarship. Peter was a co-founder of our scholarship program in the 1980s and was a devoted member of the chapter. The Peter J. Moreno Jr. Memorial Undergraduate Production Scholarship was awarded to Celeste Jones from the California State University, Going at 3, 2, 1. Our next award is the $3,000 Peter J. Moreno Jr. Memorial Undergraduate Production Scholarship. Peter was a co-founder of our scholarship program in the 1980s and was a devoted member of our chapter. The Peter J. Moreno Jr. Memorial Undergraduate Scholarship was awarded to Celeste Jones from California State University, Fresno. Congratulations to you, Celeste.
Thank you.
So Celeste, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm currently a junior at Fresno State. I'm studying media communications and journalism on the advertising and public relations route. And I really kind of have an interest in everything, writing, film, and I'm just finding modes in which I can tell a story best.
Mm-hmm. And Celeste, you shared with us 2 very different videos for your entries. It shows really an interesting variety of skills that you have. Can you talk a little bit more about the video sample that we're about to watch, though?
Yeah, so I think I best describe it as a conversation with the audience. We follow Summer Hamilton around Belmont Nursery, and she kind of gives us a mini lecture on drought tolerant and native plants in California. And I think it's an important conversation. Growing up in the Valley myself, we know how crucial it is to have drought education. And so I was glad I could kind of put that education in a video format.
Super important topic, and we're going to take a look at that video now.
Hi, I'm Summer Hamilton. I work at a nursery in the Central Valley. I absolutely love plants and gardening. So as a kid, I did a lot of hiking and backpacking, and I always loved the mountains and the local fauna and flora. And I always loved flowers, so that was kind of the start of me getting into gardening and loving all the different plants. And I really have a passion for California natives and all the drought-tolerant plants. So as Californians in this extreme drought, I think that it's really wise to start really thinking about ways to conserve water. We want our homes to look beautiful, we want to be surrounded by lots of green, but let's get smart about it and start putting in drought-tolerant plants. And what I mean by drought-tolerant are those plants that require less water. There are a lot of plants out there that need a lot of water to survive. We can leave those for the East Coast. Here on the West Coast, let's start getting smart about it. You can do a lot of the California natives. We can go with sages and rosemaries, lavenders, esperanza. There's a huge variety of grasses, anything you're looking for. We always have it in drought tolerant. Cactus are lovely if that's your thing. They're obviously drought tolerant and they look fantastic in every kind of garden. You can always fit them in. But if you don't love cactus, just remember that other plants are drought tolerant too. These are drought tolerant in here. Oh, this is perfect right here. Okay, so here is a great example of a drought tolerant plant, absolutely beautiful. This is called a butterfly bush or a buddleia. What's so wonderful about this is that not only is it gorgeous, it takes less water, but it also attracts all of our pollinators. And they are kind of having a hard time too in this new environment that we have. So for me, what I really love, and I look for in plants personally what I love plants that attract all the pollinators. I love bees. I mean, I am a beekeeper too, so I look for things that they really like this chase tree. Here you can see, we've got our honeybees that are landing all over the tree. They just love it. They're busy at work. You know, it's fantastic. It's really good for the environment. Bees need a little help right now. I think a lot of our pesticides have hurt the bees, and so anytime we can put out something that's good for them and beneficial for pollinators, we should do it. That's doing our part. This is Mirlo lavender. Believe it or not, this is actually a lavender, but it's a variegated. It kind of has this yellow color. Is really gorgeous. It has, if it's very happy, it'll have blue flowers that come out. It's good for the pollinators, but the really neat thing about it is that it repels a lot of bugs, especially mosquitoes. So it's kind of nice to plant kind of close to your house and your door and your backyard, stuff like that. I have the Mirlo lavender in my backyard, so when I'm working on plants or here at the nursery when I'm working with all the flowers, I'll just come out and I'll break off a sprig. It's very, very fragrant. And I will rub it on my skin, I'll put it on my face, and then put it behind my ear, and usually it'll keep all the bugs away. I absolutely love working here. It is so magical, it's so beautiful, and it always puts me in a good mood.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Celeste. My last question for you, what's next? What are projects you're working on or some of your next goals you have?
Yeah, I've been tackling recently a similar project where I've been following one of my friends, and she works in the agricultural industry, and like I've been kind of documenting her experience growing up in that industry and how she's approaching it herself as a business owner and how sustainability can play into that.
That's really interesting. Thank you. Congratulations again on being the recipient of the $3,000 Peter J. Moreno Jr. Memorial Undergraduate Production Scholarship. Thank you,
Thank you so much.
Our next award is the $3,000 Sheldon Shelley Fay Memorial Undergraduate Videography Scholarship. Shelley was a photographer and editor at KPIX in San Francisco and a member of the Silver Circle class of 1988. This scholarship was awarded to Theo Garvey from California College of the Arts. Hi, Theo. Congratulations.
Hello. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Theo, you sent in some fabulous work, and I really loved it. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you see yourself in the future?
I am a fourth-year student at California College of the Arts, and I specify in cinematography and directing. In the future, I would love to be a director, be able to make short films, features, to even like commercial spots. I really feel comfortable in that space.
That's great. That's awesome to hear. Well, we're going to see one of your pieces are about to play. Could you set up a little bit and tell us about the piece we're about to see?
Yeah, of course. This piece was inspired actually by a tweet from Errol Morris, which he's an amazing documentarian, and it goes by the curse of photography. It allows us to contemplate human suffering without ever having to become involved, and this piece was inspired by that.
Beautiful. Awesome. Let's check it out.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Will you shut up, man?
Well, I remember you. You haven't changed a bit. You still got that sadness. It's hanging from your lips. You point your tattooed fingers at the fish as they swim off to the sunset so freely. Oh, there they go, there they go. With the contents of your pockets, you give surnames like Sebastian. Treat them like your
We love you. Very special.
You're all down, passing out predictions on the air to conclusions of the book we are both reading. Somewhere between the spines, the daytime is always watching. He pours himself a drink. He says, well, I don't read the news. I'd rather use that time to think how I fly on by where you fiddle with your phones like foolish waves are crashing over unsuspecting stones.
That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So one last question. Can you talk a little bit about what was your favorite part of making this piece?
Oh, I think my favorite part about making this piece was trying to figure out how to reflect the video onto the sunglasses. We didn't mask it. It wasn't post-production. It was all in camera. So trying to figure out the logistical aspects of doing that, but also making sure that the subject was lit and everything looked right was a challenge, but fun.
Wow, I had no idea you did it that way. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, congratulations for being
Thank
the
you so
recipient of the $3,000 Sheldon Shelley Fay Memorial Undergraduate Videography Scholarship. Thank you, Theo.
Thank you.
And now the $5,000 Luis Jojorian Memorial Overall Excellence Scholarship is awarded to the outstanding overall student. Beloved broadcaster Luis Jojorian established her life and career in San Francisco in radio and television, landing her first job as publicity manager for KGO Radio and then became promotion director for KSFO Radio, where she worked for 25 years. The coveted Luis Jojorian Memorial Overall Excellence Scholarship has been awarded to Tariq Stone from California College of the Arts. Congratulations, Tariq. This is quite an achievement.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for having me. It's been an honor and a pleasure.
Absolutely. Tariq, can you tell us a little bit about your own journey and your path to come here?
So I guess my dad was a photographer, so I started off with photography when I was like 14 years old. And like by the time college applications came around, I'm like, I know how to use a camera, I guess. So I just decided to go to school for like cinematography. Video's different, but yeah, that's kind of how I got here. Just like legacy, I guess.
That's awesome. You have such beautiful cinematography in the samples that you sent. Can you tell us a little bit about how you would describe your visual style?
I don't know that I necessarily I feel like my visual style has perhaps changed a bit since like the video that we're gonna watch, but my professor describes it as color noir, and I've always thought that was kind of cool. Like I tend to have a very like contrasty, dramatic sort of style, so I lean towards that.
Very exciting. Okay, let's take a look at the sample that you sent. This is really an honor, this award, and you really deserve it. Lastly, can you just let us know what has this experience and this award meant for you?
It's meant so much, like even just like I don't know, at my school, like you feel it, like it's cool to. I feel like I'm representing my school well. I think like my school is like the film program is really like going up right now, and I'm happy to be a part of like what's making like my school better, I guess. Like I don't know that I'm making it better, but like by winning the award and being like here, I think I like that part of it.
That's awesome, and you're definitely making it better. So congratulations for being the recipient of our $5,000 Luis Jojorian Memorial Overall Excellence Scholarship. Thank you for being here for Tariq.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to all 6 of our recipients of the 2023 college scholarships. On behalf of the San Francisco, Northern California chapter of the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, I'd like to congratulate Florence, Alisa, Jean, Celeste, Theo, and Tariq on being our 2023 college scholarship winners. Our chapter takes great pride in offering these scholarships. If you'd like to donate to our college scholarship fund, please go to mesf.tv and click on the Students tab in the menu. You can view the full video of all of our winning entries on our website as well. On behalf of the Education Committee, I would like to thank our President, Brooks Jaros, our Education Committee Chair, Toby Momtaz, and our Activities Program Chair, Steve Schlisky, who produced and edited this program, and our Chapter Executive Director, Daryl Compton. Thank you all for joining us.